maybe I can at least start introducing this afternoon session. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We've had a very interesting talk by Ricky G this morning and an interesting discussion. And now the aim is for people to present themselves, to present what they've done through COST, this COST action, the people they've met, the contacts they've made, the experiences they've had, the projects they started thinking or developing or working on. And we had some people register for this session, and we also invited subgroup leaders, and we decided also to present our own experience. We thought about starting with members, then going through our experiences, mine, Ricky's, and Limor's, and then ending with the subgroup leaders. And I think that's important because the aim is to then, for them, to take the lead onto the development of work for the following year through those specific subgroups. Unfortunately, we've had a few diseases take place, back pain or others. So there are some people that won't be available who are expected to present. But I can talk a little bit about them, if I may. One of them sent me their presentation, others haven't, but I can introduce them. So basically, we were going to start with, and I'm going to share maybe my screen for you to see those names. Okay, let me just ensure that everyone is coming in. Okay, yeah. So I'm sharing my screen now. Okay, so we were going to start with Eva Rachner from the Institute of Social Science, Ivo Pilar, and she was basically coming to, sorry, I have a bunch of things open at the same time. She was coming to talk about her experience during this year. And one of the things that I can mention is the fact that she was one of the people who conducted a workshop at ECADOC this year. We had met many years ago at a previous ECADOC. Then we had André Borges from the University of Lausanne, Switzerland, and he shared his presentation with me. He started in working group 1 and then moved to working group 3, but we thought it made sense anyway to have him here, because basically in terms of the context, he described a lot of people through the COST organization at ECADOC, this year in Wroclaw, PhD students also at ECADOC, but also team members of the University of Derby, because he was one of the recipients of the short-term grants that this COST action has provided as an early career researcher. And so he has been doing some work with Mika at the University of Derby, but also other scholars through this grant. And I know, for example, Fiona, because recently he was at the University of Manchester with Fiona, and a lot of other people who are also here, Ricky, etc. And so he had an SDSM grant submission to visit the research lab on career guidance studies of the University of Derby. And then he started another project besides the one he's working at with during his PhD, which is focused on career guidance for clients facing precarity. With a focus on practitioners' experiences and practices within this population. And that's why this is very much within mostly working group 3, but it also has a connection with working group 1 in the sense that practitioners' perspectives on their clients with precarity are also included here. And I'm talking about this because I'm also collaborating with André on this project as well as with Mika. And so what he expects future collaborations through his work with the research Research Lab and the University of Derby, supporting the application for a postdoc funding scheme opportunity when he finishes his PhD, which is going to be very, very soon, and then the study on precarity, in which he's collecting data and we are moving forward towards the analysis. And so he aims to, during the next year, and one of his proposals is a writing and reading group. So basically they started this writing and this reading group with ECDOC. So people meet actually the writing group was started with ECDOC. The reading group is another one that has been taking place for a long time, but also his postdoc participation in conferences. He already submitted one on the precarity project that we are working on. And so he's open to future studies in collaboration with other COST members and keeping contacts and developing ideas. So during the next year, his focus will be on securing a postdoc opportunity and publishing interesting and relevant stuff. And from what I know of André, he's very well positioned to do that. He's been doing very interesting work. His PhD is if I'm not mistaken, on the experiences of cleaning women in Switzerland. And so then I would also mention Sara Peltola. Sara Peltola was supposed to be here. She's from the University of Jyväskylä, from the Faculty of Education and Psychology in Finland. And she also attended the ECADOC. And through the connections that she did at ECADOC, she started working on something with Anna Bilon and Sanna Toivonen, who will also be here during this afternoon as a leader of the subgroup on diversity and career. And so basically, this is on related to the keynote that Sana and Anna Bilon did at ECADOC, a very interesting piece with, and I can share the article that they have published recently. And so, unfortunately, without Eva, André, and Sara, I will give the floor to Oslam Inank from İSİK University, Istanbul, Turkey. I've seen Oslam. Are you ready, Oslam? Yes, you are.
Yes, hi, Mariana. Team is a new animal for me. Let me see if I can share my presentation. Here. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Yes, okay. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I wish I can also share here the collaboration, joint work with the other members during last year, but unfortunately I haven't had this chance yet. But hopefully after this presentation we can find some, common research interest and we can do something. At the end of the last spring semester, actually, I had some attempt to find some partners to join the Horizon call, but thank you so much. You distribute my email to the members, but it was really very bad timing just before the summer holiday. Unfortunately, I didn't get any response, but this year, I'm eager to follow some of the members and be the applicant of at least one Horizon project. So what I'm doing right now, which is related with the our working group works, as I said before, I'm an economist, and I'm now looking at the education, labor markets, and economic growth relationship. I'm from Turkey. It's a really very different country with the high level of population. Although we are getting older, but still the young generation is capturing the larger part of our population. And when we look at the number of university graduates, we are in top three in the OECD countries. However, as I said before, we are the leader of the unemployed university graduates also. So when I look at this picture, I said that, okay, there is a problem because although this is the picture, this is the reality, the policy of the government is still continue to open new universities and increase the university graduates in the labor market. However, the demand for labor is not increasing that much, so it increases the skilled labor unemployment in my country. And it's a huge debate. I have here some of my colleagues from my country. Probably they will share the idea. Some people think that this is the problem of the young generation. They don't want to work because they are lazy. However, the job offered to them is very low-level jobs, suitable for high school graduates, for instance, not for the university graduates. So there is a tension between, young generation and the old generation, and it's going on each and every day. So I started to think what I can analyze about this. And when I look at the data, I'm an empirical person, from the other countries, as Ricky mentioned, this is not just the Turkish experience, actually. It's getting more and more common all around the world in developed countries and in developing countries. Although the attendance is rising, the growth effects or the effect of education on the economic growth is decreasing, especially when we look at the productivity part. It's really very, alarming because what we observe is in many countries, the university education is not contributing to the productivity in the labor market as we expected. And it's when we look at the perspective of inclusive growth, the picture is much more dramatic. So the skill mismatch is another problem, as well as the unemployment. Overemployment, skill mismatch is getting more and more common in most of the countries, including Turkey. And demand and supply imbalances creates this problem. So what we have to do is we have to connect the education market, labor market, and the growth dynamics. And I want to do that from the macroeconomic lens. This is what I educated during my education years, student years. What I learned was, it's a normal thing. There will be some imbalances in the markets, demand and supply, and if you leave that alone, or some help from the government, these imbalances will be corrected soon. But however, this problem is getting more and more dramatic, and human capital theory is not working, at least in my country anymore, because we have some educated workforce. However, employer part, the firms claiming that these are not they wanted. So we have many university graduates, but they cannot find job. Even there are some opportunities, because at that time the employers claiming that this is not what they wanted. So we have some problems. We are producing something at the universities, but they are not suitable for the recent career opportunities provided by the employers. So this is one of the biggest problem here in my country, and probably in other countries also. Quality is another thing. The quality of the workers in the recent job market is another thing, because with the technological innovation now, the labor market demanding some other things. However, when we look at the majority of the universities, they continue to use some old education techniques, which is not suitable for the recent development. Therefore, all these structural changes, all these changes in the technology, labor market, worth to investing, in my opinion. And this is what I'm trying to do. When I look at the key trends, I'm at the beginning of this research project right now. I realized that almost in every countries, the education premium is decreasing. It means that going to university is not a good idea anymore for the majority of the young people, because what they expect when they graduate, they will earn more than the middle class workers. However, as I said in the previous session, in my country, the highest level, highest skill level is now getting very close to the median wage. Therefore, the education is not really a very good idea. University education is not really a very good idea. However, when we look at the middle level jobs, they are also problematic, because the university graduates do not want to work for them. So it's clearly there's something going on, and we cannot solve it by ourselves. So some connection and some work together is necessary here. I mean, the demand side, the supply side, and as well as the government, which is actually the owner of many of the projects in my country. So what I'm doing about it, in Turkey, in the Turkish Scientific and Technology Research Council offers project calls specific to COST members. This is really very good opportunity for me. So now I'm trying to analyze the data, the micro data, from different resources, try to see the choices of the individuals, the major choices of the individuals, the university choices of the individuals, and then I will look at the demand side, the unemployment levels specific to these majors, because there's a problem of choice here, but I don't know whether this is because of the individual's choices or because of some forces which makes individuals, the high school graduates, choose these majors. So I will look at these numbers. It's a very huge data. It's called YÖK Atlas. YÖK is the higher research council in our country. It's published each and every year the number of students in each university, in each major, number of graduates, etc. So I will collect all of them. It will be a very, very important project for me, and I will also want to look at some other countries, try to see what will happen, what's going on in other countries, and trying to understand the returns to education by matching this data on the wage data, mismatch and demand quality, and try to understand what's going on and what can we do with what can we offer on this. As well as very recently, I joined a book project. It's a little bit different than that. It's about the adult workers, because not only the young graduates, but also adults become unemployed because of the new technological innovation. So now I'm also looking at the reskilling and upskilling of adult workers on this book chapter. It's really very interesting topic for me also. What I want to say is I have a chance to check these horizon calls for the next year, and I realized that especially 3 of them are really very interesting for me. And I think they are related with our cost agenda. One of them is, let me check the name, strengthening Europe's social model and sustainable competitiveness through productivity. The first one, number 2. The second one is number 5, long-term contribution of basic skills to productivity, innovation, competitiveness, and economic growth. And the last one is number 6, making Europe a global magnet for talent, attracting and retaining students, researchers, and high-skilled workers from outside the EU. So now I'm looking at them, which one will be more fruitful for me. I want to decide. And if any member want to work together, because for me, the hardest part of joining the Horizon project probably will be finding a team. You have to construct a team. You have to be a member of the team. So if anyone interested in one of these calls, I will be really very happy to get together, or any other idea about academic research on these issues. It will be really very, very helpful for me, because I would like to, I change my topics. I was first international finance guy. This area is new for me. Therefore, it will be really very helpful if want to do something with me. Thank you for this opportunity again. Hopefully next year we will present our joint project here with our other members. Thank you.
Thank you, Aslam. Limor wants to say something. Go for it.
Yes.
I think we have some time for discussion, so feel free to raise your hands.
Aslam, just two questions, or maybe one question, another thing. Do you have IT population in your file, in your data? IT, I mean high-tech engineers and so on. So do you have software engineers and
Yes, yes.
And can you send me the code book? You know, the code book of the variables, like, because you said you do quantitative, if I understand right.
Yes, actually, I'm just at the beginning of the project, but from the different sources, I'm trying to collecting this data. If you just send me your email to me,
Okay.
I can share what I find with you. Okay?
Okay, and another thing about the Horizon. So we are concentrating this project, and we always send because we decided like that it will be like that. So from the cost action so later so chair, so we send a link with all the relevant if you saw it, so you can register. If you have another calls that you are interested in, so you can send me, and I can maybe interesting or something like that. And if it's really meet with the action subject, so we can enter it. So
okay, thank you so much. Yes, I saw this email, and I will do that. Thank you so much.
And about the one of them, I will write you. So I'm concentrating this call, so you can we can cooperate.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? I think we had here Rudolph, right? Rudolph further was saying, I'm engaged in labor market information for career guidance and economic education at schools and interest to cooperate. Robert, if you want to also say something besides sharing your email.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm a professor for economic education with a focus on career guidance. And so at least for my work, it's very important to consider the requirements of the world of labor and the labor market for the individual choose of the transition after schools. And we are running several projects. For example, one project for green guidance in our region, going along with the questions, what are on one hand, of course, the talents and the interests of young people, but on the other hand, what are the required professions and positions in enterprises for doing, for example, an apprenticeship. So it's your topic is quite interesting for me.
Anyone else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
For Rudolf. What are you are you working on some kind of a tool to align labor market needs, or
So speaking about precisely about our current project for green guidance. So for example, when starting the project, on the one hand, we did an expert interviews, at least we asked people with a macro view of the labor market and asked them what are the most needed professions in our region to consider that. On the other hand, we had also another survey and asked few students, young pupils, about their beliefs about energy transition and professions around energy transitions. So to bring it at the end together. And so on one hand, we are developing learning and teaching materials. So not high end from the technical point of view. Of course, interactive PDF files and so on, some interactive tools, but not something high-end digitalized. We are also organizing teacher further training sessions, going with teachers. I also do the same with my students into enterprises which are engaged in this topic. And also very important, we are supporting schools in making contact with enterprises so that pupils can visit the enterprises, can make internships and so on. So it's at least a portfolio, and labor market data are at least for us an instrument to design pedagogical instruments to support young people and the teachers as in their role as important gatekeepers and supporters, of course.
this is like in like you're a research professor at the university. Which university are you working in?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention it. It's Oldenburg, close to the North Sea. And our region is very important for Germany because of wind energy, hydrogen, solar energy too, a lot of energy based on biomass. We have a strong agricultural sector going along with harbors, with pipelines into the south of Germany and so on. So on one hand, this topic is very important for the development of our region. On the other hand, our region is very important for the development of the whole country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
May I say something, Mariana?
Of course.
What Rudolf mentioned, actually, what I think is what we need here in my country, because here the Turkish students, after the high school graduation, they enter the national exam to choose their universities and majors according to their scores, and each and every year one or two majors are popular. It's they just offered by the teachers maybe in the high school, or they just read in the media. It's really very popular subject, and the majority of the people choosing these departments, and they graduated from these majors, and unfortunately we don't know whether the national economy needs that much graduates. We have more than 200 universities right now. Some of them are state universities, some of them are private university, and some of the private university, I'm one of the member of the private university, and some of them, I have to say, have to be checked in terms of quality, because when we say university, we have to understand something else, not just one building and some classes. You have to have some opportunities to share the opinions, and understanding the needs of the country, the needs of the economy, especially if you are a developing country like Turkey in the middle income trap for so very long. It's really very important, and maybe in the future we have something like that. So it will be really very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you too.
Thank you. So now maybe we can move to Rosario. Rosario, can you present? Are you ready?
Yes, I mean, I don't have a formal presentation,
Okay,
but I can
don't worry.
talk as normally. So basically, I'm based in Barcelona, the University Pompeu Fabra, in the Barcelona School of Management. I'm a sociologist. I have a PhD in sociology, but I have a background in economics and public policy. My interest is on school-to-work transition. I worked a lot on the space and the contextual factor that shapes school-to-work transition in European regions. Also did like some work on the effects of European policies like cohesion policy and youth guarantee on school-to-work transition. And lastly, in the last like 3-4 years, I was involved in a project on employability in higher education, and I'm also developing a network for PhD students, for a proposal for PhD students in that will be presented this year. And with like in the cost action, more specifically, I was involved in the Manchester workshop, and there I had the chance to talk with Fiona and a colleague of her, Sean Brophy, and we are basically working on, also we received some funding from the Metropolitan University for basically buying the data of GISC, which are basically follow-ups graduate survey in the UK. And we are looking basically at deselection effects and into graduate outcomes, basically looking at migration, social class, and working while studies. And we are aiming to present that for like a special issue in the Work Employment Society. This is like a related project to like some research that I also been doing in Catalonia, where I'm based. We have basically sent this month actually a paper on the effectiveness of employability career service in Catalonia. On basically earning premia and whether there is any kind of earning
yes,
premia.
someone. I'm gonna try to identify who it is. And sorry, Rosario.
No worries. Earning premias, whether there is any kind of earning premias in for career services in Catalonia. We found that there is a big selection effects, and also there is in terms of basically parental background and also skills. So there is these services are basically adverse in selecting people that are basically more skilled. And also we found a relevant earning premium that is like that accounts for like 10% of in the salary after 3 years graduation. So yeah, that's basically yeah, like very briefly. I also like been doing some more critical work about metrics, which is linked to what Ricky was mentioning at the beginning of this session in the morning. And I was basically assessing whether employability rankings in tests and ARBU that are basically now very well present in the higher education policy, where there is any kind of basically modeling bias, and we found basically a big modeling bias that is basically driven by the way how missing data are imputed, and also like the weights that every dimension in the configuration of the factors of employability are considered. And also we relate that with the cost of opportunity of higher education institution, so fees, basically, and we found that there is any kind of relation at the aggregate level, at least for 550 university in the world, like the best, the top one. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosario. Any questions to Rosario? Any comments? I was actually thinking maybe not as directly to what you were saying, but I was thinking about something that I shared earlier, the work of Bob Jessup and Nylin Sum with cultural political economy. I think it could be a great avenue to integrate obviously these very hardcore statistical macroeconomic analysis with a critical approach, and that would be extremely interesting to see developed in this working group and in this project, or for example, relating or questioning the processes of financialization of the economy and how they then impact the labor market and its openness or equilibrium, let's say, and how things work. So these are just things that I was thinking about that I would love to see happening here for those who are from hardcore economics or political economy. Okay, any other questions, reflections? Yeah. So
just
sure.
one quick one. In terms of metrics, I recently had something published, a chapter in a book, which is looking at taking a decolonial approach to looking at metrics in the UK, and basically highlighting that particularly the GOS, the Graduate Outcome Survey, is heavily leans on a colonial logic. So I can email you, I can share you the chapter if you're interested.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
And that reminds me about something else, but it's a little bit different. So Bernard Stiegler makes an analysis on the process of so this also comes from already the heritage of other authors, but what he talks is about calculation and how everything is reduced to calculation, which then empties them of meaning. So whatever, that's also an interesting author to reflect on that.
We are using knowledge base of judgment of Amartya Sen, which is like kind of like the relation, like in I read like some of the work on financialization of the higher education institution. Interesting. But just it could be also included, like his work. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so next, Evrim Errol from, sorry, I'm going to say this wrong, probably Kütahya Dumlupinar University in Turkey. I've seen you. Yes. Do you want to present now? Are you ready? Oh, your camera has a... Oh, you're muted. Okay. Are you having any some problems with your... Okay, your microphone. Okay. Okay. Of course. Let's do the best we can. If you want, I can trying to show it, of course. We'll follow Evrim in so I'm gonna read what Evrim is saying. Hi everyone, I'm Evrim. I apologize, I've been having an issue with my microphone. Yes, he's going to share his presentation via the chat section because his microphone isn't working. Okay. Yes, we can see. Okay, this is the one that isn't filled out, I think. This is the template that we sent you. Yes, it's okay. You're still showing the same thing. Maybe it's best to stop sharing and then restart. Yeah. Yes, now it's right. Okay. So reaching out within working group 1 to form a country-based core team interested in digitalization and its effects on professionalization and career goals. So basically you are reaching out to other people from Turkey. So Evrim is an associate professor in educational administration at Kutayal Dumlupinar University in Turkey. Okay, so to study, so Evrim's proposal is to study how digitalization shapes professional growth and career goals. And your idea would be to do it with the teams by country. To do a cross-country comparison. So here focused on teachers' academics, professionalization, and career goals. The design is flexible. We may focus on teachers only, academics only, or run parallel streams. Critically, comparisons will be made across countries, not between occupations. Each partner would collect data in their own country using a shared core protocol that combines a short survey with an optional mini qualitative module. And then you would like to propose an STSM or a mobility to do the methods calibration to finalize the shared core protocol. Okay. So Evrim is saying during localization, we will protect methodological integrity through a minimal common variable set, attention to measurement, equivalence, and clear data governance standards. Our timeline has 2 steps: complete pilots and ethics pre-registration, then proceed to the multi-country main wave. Okay. Have you received any, have you started this process or not yet? Okay, so the aim is to then do networking here to develop this. Okay. Expected outputs would include 1 cross-country journal article, a policy brief, and an ethics-compliant shareable summary data sets to strengthen comparability. We plan short methods calibration meetups with a mobility. Okay, could you share your email? Yeah, so Evrim is inviting us to collect country level data, and who the people. Oh God, sorry. Whoever can collect country level data and contribute to instrument adaptation and reporting to contact him. And he has shared his email with us. Don't worry. Unfortunately, these things happen. We've seen it all in terms of internet problems, email problems, microphone problems, and camera problems. So please reach out to Evrim if you're interested in this digitalization approach. I think I know I can synchronize this with you, so I'm going a little bit back to remind everyone of the concept, the impact of digitalization on teachers, academics, professionalization, and career goals. I think it's important to then clarify this a little bit further. What do you mean about digitalization? What are we talking about? But this can go further. This would make sense in our social technological careering subgroup. So this could be further developed with them. So basically it's Robert Hanak from Slovakia and Ezra Dogru Uzmeli from Turkey also, who are the leaders of the social technological careering subgroup, and this would make sense to continue with them. Rudolph. Oh yeah, you're sharing what you were talking about before. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Any other questions to Evrim?
When we say the effect of digitalization on academics, we are talking about the career choice of the academics, or we are talking about, for instance, the teaching methods. So which part? It's about the education part or labor
Very
market?
important question. So career development, the experience of work, basically two possibilities here. Yes, Evrim, have you thought about this?
Using some new techniques, new technology in the teaching methods, the curriculum design, or some career choices in this area.
Okay, so Evrim has also added that he plans to conduct a more critical qualitative phenomenological study or two different parallel studies. Yeah, so, okay, so are you talking about two different parallel studies would be focused on career development and choices and the experience of work within academia and integration of digitalization in it? Is that what you mean? These two possibilities. Okay. Maybe there's something wrong now, so we can't hear from Evrim again. So maybe we could, okay, 1 minute. Yes. You're writing, of course. It's a complicated question. We are considering researching the career advancement of digitalization as a methodology. However, we are concerned that digitalization, especially artificial intelligence, may have more negative effects in academia. Okay. Okay. I think this already gives you a little bit of an idea of what Evrim is thinking about. I think the aim now is to continue this discussion afterwards. And now I would invite Louise to do her presentation. And okay, don't worry, Evrim, don't worry. Don't worry about mistakes. But maybe I think this makes sense to, because it's complicated, so it makes sense to continue this afterwards. And if you want, you can also try to get out of the room and then come in again and see if it makes any changes. But also, I would advise people to contact you and then go deeper into this idea. Thank you very much. So, Louise, you go ahead now.
Oh, I'm sharing my emails. I didn't mean to do that. I'm being totally incompetent. 1 second.
Don't worry.
Let's try again. There we go. This is what I meant to share. Apologies. So hello everybody. Thank you for inviting me today. I am a senior lecturer in human resource management at Nottingham Business School, Nottingham Trent University. I used to work in operational human resource management, so my work, I like to think, bridges academic research and practical experience, and as a result I'm committed to impacting policy and practice. I've recently been appointed as the Social Inclusion and Equity Advisor. My research for the COST project. So my research surrounds issues of really inequality and inclusion, and broadly focuses on gender, race, ethnicity, care experiences and career development, particularly in the context of contemporary work environments and higher education. So this is including intersections of care and career and how caring for an adult has impact on career progression formally, but also development of informal caring careers. Most recently, I've been working on a project alongside Ricky, and this is what I presented at the conference in Manchester, around the career experiences and progression of ethnically minoritized professional services staff in UK higher education. We're at the point of about to publish a report and then start disseminating further that research. I'm also interested with Ricky on kind of notions of progress and the nature of work. So Ricky and I work closely together on sort of developing critical careers and employability. So I met a lot of people in Manchester. Since being appointed as Social Inclusion and Equity Advisor, I've been meeting more people in terms of the core group and the management group. And I thought what would be most useful is just to briefly overview kind of the approach of COST when it comes to inclusion, and then thinking about how I can help Working Group 1. So COST inclusion objectives are very much about identifying excellence in science and technology across Europe, increasing communities' access to funding and infrastructures, particularly from certain countries that may not have access to funding in other scenarios, and triggering structural changes in members' national research systems. And they really focus on 3 kind of core elements. That is geographical spread, so where is the money being spent? The career stage, so making sure we involve young researchers and help them on their career journey as well, and also in aiming to achieve gender balance. Now, from my perspective, my experience, there's obviously more that we can think about, but those are kind of the core 3 main aims of cost inclusiveness policy. But I believe we can go beyond that. And I was talking to Tristram yesterday around, you know, for example, social class, race and ethnicity, disability. So there's, from an intersectional perspective, we need to consider, I believe, more broadly than just the 3 main elements. And I think we can do that on the projects that we're working on. And that links very closely to the our cost action research questions around challenges and changes that are happening in the contemporary world, how policymakers can respond, how can we advise policymakers, and how can career guidance practice adopt a more critical stance to address the changing world more effectively. So I'm still developing my role. Just after I was appointed, I had to go off for an operation. So I'm still working through this, but essentially, I believe my role to help encourage inclusivity and support an open and inclusive network for collaboration. I want us to foster collaboration and mutually exchange knowledge like we are doing today among all participants. I'd like to be somebody and potentially work with a team. So one of the considerations is, do we have a representative from each working group that is working with me to broadly consider social justice and equity in research project proposals, initiatives and actions. My first step is I really want to monitor the data, and it may be that we have to send out a member survey around what's the makeup of our members from the different countries, what are we representing, where is our funding going in terms of the different countries, different career stages and the gender balance, alongside obviously those other characteristics that I was talking about. So there's a limited amount, I think, that cost itself collects in terms of data. So I believe I can get data on the countries people are working from, potentially gender, but I'm not sure. But I think it might be that I send out a survey to members in future, obviously following ethical procedures because of the sensitive nature of the data around personal characteristics, just to understand a little bit more about who our members are. And look at where money is going, what stage of career people are at, and kind of what I can do to help further the inclusion of the specifics of the cost action, but also, as I say, from an intersectional lens and more broadly. So I'm still working through this. So if people have questions, comments, feedback, particular desire to work with me on this, then please do talk to me now, or my email address is on the first slide. So it's louise.aldridge@ntu.ac.uk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Louise. Would anyone like to say something about this important role that Louise is now taking with us in this project? Any questions? Okay. Thank you so much. I think this is, I wanted to also invite Louise to be here and present this new role. I think it's an important role within this cost section, and it may guide us also through our work together. And if there are any questions, we'll continue. Okay, thank you so much, Louise. Okay, so I have another, so basically we had Teresa Scarabella, sorry, I don't know if I'm saying the name correctly, let me confirm. We had Teresa Maria Scaramella from FISPA Department, University of Padua, Italy, today during the morning, and she was supposed to also come and present, but she had to leave at the last minute, and she was trying to see if she could still make it, and so she sent me her presentation too. So here I go and do another presentation that isn't mine. Let me see where it is. Teresa Scaramella. But at least to give the possibility of people to so that you get to know a little bit more about whoever was here. So Teresa, I'm going to share my screen. Right. Sorry. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
If you're seeing my screen, yes, I'm Teresa Scaramella, diversity. Oh God, and now it changed. Diversity and career. She is part of this subgroup. You have here her email. And let me put this Okay, and so Teresa participated in Manchester at the launch event, the conference that was the launch conference of this cost action, and she presented something and found a common interest with Anna Bilon, for example. She also is a member of the COCAG Management Committee, and she has contacted many young researchers and professionals from Italy, also 2 of them that applied and could benefit from a mobility program to participate in international conferences and academies. And so we have here their names. So basically, this cost section not only allowed her to know people from other countries, but also from her own country. As a COCAG member, she contacted young researchers and professionals in an international setting, for example, with Dr. Asil Kebachi from Turkey, that applied for a short visit in Padua during spring 2026, so that will come. Her current interests and works in progress with COCAG members, what we have here is, on the one hand, critical perspectives in career counseling, so with career counselors, developing a more appropriate methodology to study their knowledge about critical perspectives and how dimensions of critical perspectives already enter directly or indirectly in their practice. This with Anna Bilon. And then selective and adaptive criticality in career guidance. So how critical perspectives are currently defined, already entered in research and practice, mostly through research and practice with vulnerable individuals and paths currently envisaged. And here in collaboration with colleagues in Padua and in Italy. So the first one is in its preliminary development, while the second one means that she's working together with these people on 2 book chapter proposals. For the coming academic year, Teresa will continue this study. She is open to other members interested in addressing selective applications of critical perspective with diverse, vulnerable groups, and she would like to share the results of her work during the conference in Porto, which I will mention in the meanwhile, and to write and disseminate findings with colleagues. So this was Teresa's proposal. She's open to whatever you are interested in. She is interested in diversity and careering, which is one of our subgroups, and we will have here Sanna Toivonen as the new leader of this subgroup. As you know, I don't know how many people are here that are new, and there are a lot of faces here that I already know, either from Manchester, from ECADOC, or from online webinars, but we had a reformulation of our subgroup. So basically what happened was, during the first year, each working group was working and developing and receiving basically their participants' interests and trying to organize them. We were doing that, working group 2 was doing that, and working group 3 was doing that. So then during the launch conference in Manchester, we all presented our working groups and how we summarized and organized these thematic interests of our members. Then what Tristram did was reanalyze and try to systematize all of these interests, so that there wouldn't be, because that was a challenge we were facing as leaders of each working group, how to work together, because these things aren't artificially separated. Even though working group 1 focuses on theory, working group 2 on policy making, and working group 3 on practice, these things are connected. And so basically what we then decided was to adopt this analysis and systematization that Tristram did. And so this is going to be implemented in all working groups. So basically we've reformulated the working groups, which then lead to some changes in terms of subgroup leaders. But we will have today here the subgroup leaders of all subgroups, just except Judith Weg from Career Imaginaries, but she has also sent me a summary of something that she would like to share with you, even though she can't be here. So we would like to restart this and listen to the aims and the experiences of subgroup leaders from 3 on. So basically we will have no, we were supposed to, okay, let me see, we'll do a break now, a short break now, yeah. And then at 3 p.m. We can start with the subgroup. Oh, no, sorry. I was forgetting about me, Ricky, and Lee Moore. Sorry. Maybe I was basically eliminating us from the equation, but I think we should also share our experiences. Sorry. So, Lee Moore, do you want to start? Then Ricky, and then I'll finish up before we go to the break and restart with the subgroup leaders. Is that okay? Lee Moore, we can't hear you. Sorry, you're still muted.
Okay, I'm trying to share something here. Well, I can't share. I don't know why it's not sharing. Is there an option to share?
Yes,
I can't find it. I can't find it in the sharing.
Just to the left.
No, but it's not giving me to share. I mean, it's like it's not working, or maybe there is necessary for you to open it or something like that.
No, because everyone has that possibility. It's open to everyone. So let me see if there's anything wrong with you specifically. I can see you here. Okay, where are you, Lee Moore? Okay, let me see if this helps you. Now, maybe?
No, I think it's not giving. It's saying that it's not, I mean, it's not enabled. Only meeting organized, only you can do it, because you open this link. This is what is written in. Only
I'm
meetings
making you, but I think I have made you a participant, but it seems as if
maybe
it doesn't.
Now. Okay, just a minute. I don't know. Background. No.
Oh yeah, you're sharing. Yes, we can.
But I cannot see you. Okay, I will do something. Okay. So I'm Lee Moore Kasoladevsky. I'm the vice chair of Mariana with Ricky from Bardon University, the Department of Management, and also Academic Center of Law and Science, the Department of the Master of Business Administration, Israel, and also United States. I'm also coming from University of Washington, Foster School of Business. I was working with Professor Thomas Lee, was the AMJ, the Academy of Management journal editor, if you know, in management, and also the AOM president of the conference, the very known one. Okay, so and then my research area are turnover, retaining, embeddedness, withdrawal behaviors, okay, and what affecting on that, and also career, OMB, organizational misbehavior. I think organizational behavior, I mean the positive side and the negative side. Now, what kind of contact have you made that would not have occurred if you were not signed up with the course? So I met Ricky and Mariana. I didn't know before. Met all action management, chair, vice chair, Uli and the others, subgroup leaders, work group 1 members via webinar, and also the conference, the Ohio State University conference that I collaborated with Ricky and other scholars here. I sent call for papers, and I did all the analyze and so on, and then I sent it to the Ohio State University and Redwood University, and that they led this conference. Extended my LinkedIn network, I think, from all of this. About the projects, so I'm leading a webinar on dark side of career. I led a webinar on the dark side of career and a paper in the commitment conference in Netherlands. This was the Ohio State University conference. Just a minute. They did collaboration with Redwood University, and it's called the Commitment Conference. And I think I brought their the more critical academic career of from the business school, and not just the organizational sociology. This was more Ricky. I brought more the dark side of career and so on. This is more, I think, management or critical management lens. And also I did another presentation about the effect of procrastination on turnover and commitment. And because this is a commitment conference, so it's another paper. I also presented a paper in Manchester University about the effect of AI, digitalization, and technology, the negative effect on consequences of organization. Submitted a chapter proposal to the edited book of I think we have this chapter proposal. Yes. I think we did it. So yes, I also sent a proposal that I hope that will be accepted. Contributed to position paper with Uli. Develop Horizon called. I was the first one that moved this. Horizon proposal. I mean to collaborate people from this network. This was because I think that we can take advantage of this network to develop some proposals, research proposals to this cause. And I think it's a part of this, it has to be part of this interest of the people here in the network. So what I'm planning for the coming academic year, developing a consortium to one of the Horizon call and the future one. We have some called, maybe even more than one, but it's a lot of work. So Uli sent a link, and I hope to concentrate or lead one of them. And so you are invited to enter to the link and maybe to write your name, who wants to work with who and what's your interest. And I think this might really go here because consortium, it's like a group of people that have the affiliation that the EU wants for this submitting this proposal. So this is really good for our network, and we can use it. Join cross-cultural research on AI effects. I hope with Robert here, developing a chapter call for co-writing a paper, symposium, and PW. I want to do it for the next year, and maybe alone, maybe with Mariana and Ricky. And also I'm working on, I think, 5 papers in parallel. And one of them has to be was accepted. So this is what I'm planning for the next academic year. Thank you. And just a minute. Oh yeah, and this. Thank you for listening and cooperation.
Thank you, Limor. Ricky.
Okay, let's see if I can share my stuff. You see that okay?
Yeah,
excellent.
We can see it.
So I'll try and whisk through this quite quickly so we can get to the break. So what contacts have I made? I met the organisers and many PhD students by being involved in the ECDOC this year, and gave gave a workshop to the PhD students. I work very closely with Mariana and Lamore as we lead Working Group 1. I've also made connections with the subgroup leads that Mariana's made reference to, and I've met group members via not just this webinar, but our previous webinar. I also coordinated a stream for the Midlands Conference in Critical Thought, which was at the University of Derby in 25. And many of those contributions came via Cost, who presented in that stream, which was fantastic to connect those two initiatives. I'm a member of the management committee for the project. And it's given me an excellent opportunity to consolidate existing relationships with members of the University of Derby, like Tristan Hooley, who I've worked with before, but this has made our work much more solid, so to speak, extending my LinkedIn network as well. So I'm concentrating on projects that are specifically linked to cost. I'm working on quite a few other projects, but the ones that specifically linked to cost, I'm working with Anna on a service learning project, which will be starting in January, which is a research project involving students from both my university and her university in Poland, exploring student activist careers. So broaden out this notion of career to include activist careers as well. As I mentioned before, I provided a PhD masterclass as part of the Equidoc. Thanks to Lamore, I was involved in a symposium at the Commitment Conference in the Netherlands and presented a presentation on the dark side of career, which provided a critique on progress and work focusing solely on paid career, focusing on paid work. I provided the workshop this morning also at the Manchester Met conference opening for the cost project. I was involved in the webinar last year as part of this group. As I mentioned before, coordinated a stream in the Midlands Conference in Critical Thought, which had members present from the cost members. And just to make you aware, so I've put in, I've just submitted today a stream looking at career and work from a critical perspective related to education for the 2026 Midlands Conference in Critical Thought at the University of Warwick. And so as soon as we get a call for papers and presentations, I will feed that through the cost network as well. And it'd be great to have people present at the University of Warwick. And just to let people know, the Midlands Conference on Critical Thought is a free conference and it's interdisciplinary. And as well as the work and career stream, there'll be multiple streams looking at loads of really interesting topics that I'm sure people will be interested in. I've submitted a chapter proposal for the edited book that I know Fiona and others are editing, looking at critical conceptions of career. And I've heavily contributed to the position paper that should be published soon in relation to the project. And I think 6 of my citations are utilised in that position paper. So that's what I've been involved with. That specifically links to cost. Just to make people aware of other projects, I'm writing a book with Louise on critical perspectives on employability, and I also involved in a research project with a social psychologist looking at the career development of teaching intensive academics in the UK. So that's me.
Thank you so much, Ricky. So I'll share my screen and try to be quick so that we can. This is for some people that are a little bit late, and unfortunately, some people had to leave us. But so in terms of connections, so I have met Ricky and Limo, who I had never met, and who have been a great support in the organization and leading of this working group. Also the subgroup leaders, some of them I had never met and I met previously through the first webinar, and then I analyzed all the registrations and got to know them intellectually before I got to know them at least in person online. Then the members of the editorial committee of COCAG, which I became involved in, and the core group of COCAG, but also ECODOC, where I had a chance to participate this year, and the participants at the launch conference in Manchester, and Working Group 1 members who have contacted me. In terms of what I had the opportunity to do this last year that was directly related to this cost action, on the one hand, I would say the Manchester conference, in which I presented the working group. I presented Working Group 1 and our aims for this working group and what we intend to do, and also the reflections we had done regarding the socio-historical and political conceptualization of work and career as a way to develop critical perspectives, and also about the development of the subgroups. I did an oral communication on some of the work I had done before. This is part of the research that I did that analyzes the impact of the crisis in Portugal on the experience of work, psychosocial uncertainty, and emotional coping, which is a longitudinal study. I presented that oral communication. So my previous work was a little bit, actually my previous work was a critical approach to the experience of work, unemployment, precarity, and also with qualitative analysis. And so at the ECODOC, I had the opportunity to do this masterclass for PhD students on critical discourse analysis value in career guidance and counseling and research, and I contributed to the position paper also, and submitted a chapter proposal for the edited book, as others have mentioned, which was an opportunity given to the ones who participated in the Manchester conference, which is provisionally titled "The Future of Work: Transforming the Desert into a Human World." I was invited to give an online lecture on critical approaches to career counseling to students of the Pan American University in Mexico by another member, Donovan Reynoso. I'm participating in the organization of ECODOC 26, which will be focused on Working Group 1, and so we should inspire the organization of this ECODOC, but also I'm part of the organizing committee of the COCAG conference in 2026, which is also focused on Working Group 1. We are still starting this organizing committee. So this conference will take place in Porto in Portugal, and we'll give you more information as soon as possible. I've started work on a new project that I've already told you about. It was the one I'm working with André, who couldn't be here today, and also continuing another project with some members of this cost action. So the new project is a participatory action research with career counselors working with clients facing precarity, with André Borges and Mika Keki and Kourouche Massoudi. And I'm continuing work on a social justice, and this is also a provisional title, from a floating signifier to an inclusive rearticulation of career counseling, with Anna Bilon, Piorko, and Sana Toivonen. And I think the name isn't quite well written. I'm sorry, Sana. And this is a little bit of what I plan. So if people are interested in working on these issues, I'm open to collaborations for joint research, publications, funding bids. So I'm very happy that I got the news that I was awarded a 3-year funding by the Foundation of Science and Technology in Portugal for a project focused on bringing people with disabilities into the labor market in Portugal, co-constructing person-centered support practices and interventions. So this is very focused on the diversity and career subgroup that we have here. So I will be developing this project, and I'm interested in international collaborations regarding the transition to the labor market of people with disabilities. I'm also, so I've been working on a project on green guidance. This is the original project we are working on, the website, but we also have developed a little bit further. And so with Sara Peltola and others, we are also basically trying to develop a survey to various languages, so Finland, Canada, UK, and France, besides the ones that already participated in the one we were doing. And we are thinking about the possibility of then applying for an Horizon funding. But I'm also interested in migration, activism, social and political participation, the risks of platformization, and AI in the labor market. So this is my areas. These are my areas of interest. So maybe we could shorten a little bit our break for a 10-minute break. Is that okay? And restart at 10 past 10. Do you all agree? Yeah?
That's great.
Okay. Thank you so much. See you in a bit. Hi, Susanna.
Hi.
Hi there. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. So, Tanya had asked me to be the first. So I hope you don't mind if I switch a little bit the order of presentations for the subgroup leaders, because she really has to go out in the meantime, but I think she's there. Tanya Schrut, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi,
So,
Mariana.
hi, how are you? Great to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you. I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, so I had said we had until 10 past 10, but if you want to start presenting or sharing your presentation, if you have one, feel free to do it. We'll get there in 1 minute, so we have some time for the ones who are still coming. So the idea now, and I'm glad that this is being recorded, and probably what I'm going to do is divide these recordings into 3 pieces. The first one will be the webinar, the second one will be the show and tell, and the third one will be the presentations from subgroup leaders, because though they are a show and tell, they're also an introduction. So I think it would be useful for the ones who can't make it, who couldn't make it today, to have access, an easy access to it. So feel free to go ahead. Tanya Schrut is the subgroup leader of the subgroup titled Lifelong and Life-Wide Learning in Career. So go ahead.
Okay, can you all see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
In presentation mode. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. So hello, everybody. Thank you, Mariana, for changing the plans a little bit for me. Unfortunately, today everything is a bit overlapping, so I will need to leave soon, but I'm very happy that everything is recorded, so I can catch up with all the other presentations too. Yes, so I'm the subgroup leader for the working group Lifelong and Life-Wide Learning and Career. I'm working at the Oslo Metropolitan University, and of course, we are happy about future more members. But first of all, I just go really briefly, I will be really briefly actually, go ahead with the first question that you asked, which was about the contacts that our group has already made. And actually, I'm talking now pre-Manchester meeting, because there we had already organized something back then. I was still with my colleague Louise Aldrich, but then there was some reorganization. But still, I can say, and we will kick off actually the real action of this subgroup from now on. But I can still say that there have been made some contacts. First of all, I was lucky enough to be at the Manchester meeting to meet all the other colleagues and to look a little bit behind the scenes also of this co-section, which was very nice. And secondly, I have a little also kind of, what you call it, a best practice, a success story, what you want to call it, to say, because in this co-section, I met also Jette Jørgensen Mebrook. This was through the first webinar actually of this working group that had been conducted in spring, and where I presented my research. Back then it was a newly funded actually research project, but I started this summer. It is about lifelong learning actually of migrant women in healthcare, and I presented this research. And afterwards, after this webinar, Jette, who is a professor at the University of Akureyri in Iceland, contacted me and asked me if she could join me for this research. And now she is traveling along my project, my European funded project, and is conducting the same research in Iceland about lifelong learning. So we will have next month a webinar together at her university, and we have scheduled a visiting research ship for next summer for me at the University of Akureyri. So this has been really already a big success, this collaboration. Speaking of that, I think we have already quite some concrete plans for this subgroup for the coming academic year. First of all, for some structure, I would like to build on what we had in mind back then with Louise, with the other named subgroup, where we had already kind of drafted a structure for this subgroup. And we had been thinking about monthly meetings with spotlights. So I know we have all really, really busy schedules between teaching, doing research, writing articles, writing grant applications. So I definitely know that from our own experience, but I think it would be really helpful for this subgroup if we could squeeze in a 1 hour meeting every month in the first week, for example. Last time we thought about the first week starting from December. Always the same day, always the same hour, that fits also the other schedules. So where we could have a 1 hour meeting with a 10-minute spotlight in between. That 10-minute spotlight means really low-key in preparation, informal presentation about own research focus, own research interests, own research projects, just to get a little bit of feeling of what kind of expertise we have in the subgroup, because I think this is the main objective, to bring together our expertise and to benefit from it in the most possible way. Then from there, we could move on to elaborate the thematic clusters. So the focus of this subgroup, which could be a focus of lifelong learning in certain employment sector, be it education, be it healthcare, be it any other employment sector that we are interested, but also transversal themes, lifelong learning for people with migratory background, lifelong learning for older people, and so on. And yes, aspired outcomes, I think it is really desirable for the COCAG in general, for the subgroups, to have very concrete outcomes from these collaborations. So for instance, of course, we are all interested in showcasing our research. So of course, the writing of scientific articles would be included, but also collaboration in research grant applications. And last but not least, and I'm really, also this I know from own experience, I think collaboration in these subgroups is also a great opportunity for planning short-term visiting research stays. So for exchanging also physically research experience, this could be very fruitful and actually a very concrete outcome. I did one of myself for another course section. I remember in this June in the University of in Switzerland, and it was very, very fruitful and productive. And this is it. I think my 5 minutes are up. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tanya. Any questions to Tanya? Go ahead, Sada.
Yeah, Tanya, thank you for your presentation. And I'm finding there's a lot of connections with what I do in Norway among migrant women. So we definitely need to talk later on. But what I immediately thought was that I've now really closely read the Horizon work plan for Horizon Europe. And you should maybe check out the cluster 2, which is about inclusion and culture, creativity, and inclusive society, because there is one call which addresses directly lifelong learning. So I don't know whether you are interested in going to that, but just since you mentioned the lifelong learning and some bigger projects.
Yeah, thank you, Sana. yeah, this is a stream of the Horizon, and it could be definitely interesting. Yeah, thank you. We will definitely take this in consideration.
We cannot hear you.
Just to say something about the Horizon, because I sent the draft, the call. This is a draft, so we have to check that it will be at the end. It will be really the same calls. So because they're doing changes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was times that they did. So just to say that we hope that this will be really the final. So just to say about that, yeah.
Any other questions? No? Okay, so now maybe we can move to careers in crisis. Who wants to start? Malika from
Yes.
yeah, you want to go, Malika?
Hi, I'm going to start and share the presentation with Sanya. And first of all, I can give some information myself. I work as an assistant professor at the Faculty of Education at Giresun University in Turkey. My research interests are early career researchers, academic identity construction, and higher education. So I am really happy to be in this subgroup because renamed subgroup Career in Crisis, but the objectives are the same, of course. And in our previous webinar, I really like to hearing the different perspective for diverse fields on career and career guidance, and it's really important to explore and reconceptualize the career and career guidance through critical approaches. And as the subgroup, we are aware that people have been experiencing inequalities and barriers in their career. So those are not only shaped by individual choices and also social structures. And this situation also depends on people's background, and they are struggling with protecting their mental health and how to be resilient, of course. And we are also aware that global North and global South are experiencing different barriers and inequalities. So we are going to design our future plans according in terms of these perspectives, and we are going to organize some comparative studies, of course. And I'm going to share my presentation. Our presentation, sorry. And can you see?
Yes, we can. It's not full
screen. We started to lead this subgroup with 3 people, but I think Gülsel wasn't able to going on, but we are going to cooperate together, of course. And our answer to the first question, of course, 2 of us have established a very productive connection, and we need the new list of the subgroup members, because everybody was free to change their subgroup according to their interests. So as soon as we will continue to build the network of cooperation dedicated to concrete activities. Sanya will present later. And of course, we contacted you and leaders and subgroup leaders and the members. And during the summertime, we had meetings with subgroup leaders and discussed the ideas. So I personally extended my social network through LinkedIn. I think Sanya also did. And I was invited to Career Development Center as a member at my university. And we have already agreed on the need to write an article on critical approaches to career in terms of course, crisis. And we want to prepare an Horizon application. We already submitted our idea to the list. And we are going to focus on the right to mental health and mental health protection strategies in professional domains of academic and care work. And we found an interesting call for applying and choose Europe for Science 2025. And Sanya will go on with the rest of the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melike. Yes, I will add some details. First of all, I would like to say that for me, actually today I couldn't follow very with full attention all the time and things were happening here, but it was much more than I expected. In terms of having really good hints of understanding with Mariana and also with Richard, I believe, in what I wanted to do and what we actually plan to do as well. Since we already said that we identify the call, I'm not sure what is the cluster for this Horizon call. I think Europe for Science is a cluster. There is a call for which we would like to apply. We developed cooperation, and I think also I fully understand that not all our people are very into these epistemological, critical, and they would like to choose one and not to go into like reflecting broadly into this important debates, blah, blah, blah. But since it was very, how to say, highlighted in the call, I think it makes sense to really try also to provide conceptual framework. In those terms, my focus is on political and cultural sociology, now criminology and social pathology, and I'm really into those critical theories. So I really believe there is a quality when some new approaches and combinations and developments are given in that sense. So I think maybe today we didn't actually accentuate that much crisis. And so a couple of things I'm doing at the moment, which is I'm attending in the following 3 days conference, Right to Help, organized by lawyers in Novi Sad and by my institute. And I prepared a paper about the framework for strategies, supporting strategies for mental health protection, while like in those proactive and prior diagnosing phase. So we would like to develop a project that actually is helping in like grassroots in that mode to individuals in countries where career support and career centers are not so proactive, not so not that much recognizing those crises and breaks into careers, and a lot of individuals, they're very struggling to keep from one contract to another or to get into any position after getting the degree, or all sort of personal and professional issues they might have. At the moment, I also for the first time contacted author. I'm preparing at the moment also a book about critical theories and social pathology, which would be helpful for this article and like to try to develop conceptual framework. But on another hand, also I contacted author, which is not Harris, I posted in chat, another one, which is also trying to develop, well, like when things are going in a wrong direction, what we can do prior to making it a medical diagnosed case and stuff like that. And in the terms of empowering strategies for people to go on and to how to say, to look for opportunities and solutions. And I got positive response. I unfortunately don't have a name because today I was very in like a lot of stuff, and I still have to finish a lot of stuff prior to sleep. But author from the UK, which is like very in the topic and develop these critical approaches to social pathology, is interested to take part also in this Horizon project. Also, I put it myself as a contact, and I got already from Tunisia one interested person. I think that's something, because I put it yesterday in the system that we are looking for partners, because I never tried that option. I think that's important. Well, not to speak too long, I think that like strategies that are providing people with support are really missing, that give them perspective to think their careers otherwise. Therefore, I really think that I hope that among the group members will be a lot of people ready and interested to contribute and to find their place under this framework. But we will develop, we propose the next meeting for 3rd November. That's another. And that's another topic. We are open also to listen to like other people and to try to include that into the plan. We originally wanted to write paper and to get in touch with other people from the group, but that didn't work and we didn't have time. However, we also discussed the activity of organizing event either in Serbia, Turkey, or somewhere else, where we will discuss these mental health issues during the crisis and breaks in career of higher education researchers, and we start caring nursing sector, but maybe we could include something else in case there is interest for that. And like we don't have like I didn't read the documentation, but it will follow very quickly, because we don't want to lose interest of this author, which I think is very important for conceptual framework. And we hope to develop this full proposal and to continue working on a paper that will deal with providing this critical framework that will be helpful to detect those things that are outside of given infrastructural strategic frameworks of career development of certain countries, and then also comparative level, because of course we would hope to include many different countries depending on the interest. That's more or less all I had to say for today. And like we hope to get also a list of the new members so that we can continue with preparation of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. I think it's important to say that what we have now is a list of the members who registered for the previous subgroup, who then are transferred to this subgroup, and then some that registered in the meanwhile. What I would, and I'm going to send you that. What I think it's important also to do is, on the one hand, to disseminate again the registrations for people to engage with these subgroups, and on the other hand, to also every time you organize a meeting, please let us know so that we can advertise it for all members of Working Group 1, because they may have not yet registered for your subgroup, but may be interested. On the other hand, I would say, look out so that you don't go, of course, these things are all connected, but look out so that you don't go into the other subgroups. For example, when I see AI, then I think of socio-technological careering, and now I move to, for example, Robert. Robert, can you present your subgroup and your experience? Robert Hanak and Ezra, are you there? I've seen you there.
Oh, hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Let me share the screen. I will make it quick to avoid desperate time delay we have here. So let me look at the presentation, and I would like to share the work we are working on. And one important thing, I will send you the link. And now coming back to the presentation, very briefly, to avoid the structure, to share the time, to save the time, we are now doing the research. I will show you in detail the content, the logic behind that. It is in several languages already prepared. So in the chat you have now this link. You can check it, how it was translated. Maybe it is acceptable. And if you are interested in the process, you can log there and go through some questions. What we are trying to identify, what psychological, sociological characteristics lead to people to use more technologies, to use more artificial intelligence, to educate themselves, to be interested in their own improvement, because in general, the level of understanding is very low among the population, but there are big differences. There are several factors identified which have negative effects, especially here are, for example, for women or for young people. And we, for every of this block, created the block of the questions. Here are the questionnaires we are working with. We would like to improve some of them. And here we already made some pilot in some countries. We have like about 100 students from Poland, very few from Germany. In Slovakia, I'm from Slovakia. We made about 1,000 of people, already making some structural modeling from those. And we are interested in people in this subgroup or anywhere who would like to join us and to work with these. These are some universities we are working with. Mostly we are working with University in Poznan. And we are also doing intensive research about identification, careless responses, to identify those who are not answering properly. I will share very briefly the model. In fact, this is the all full model we would like to test, but the way how it is organized, it is much more simple. Self-efficacy in AI, general self-efficacy lead to interest, lead to career in ICT. The role models people met with and people who have some experience in the past. So that was a very brief introduction to that to save the time. And when I look at the people who should be here from my subgroup, I see the leader, of course, I see my coworker Esra, but mostly I think there is now no one in from our subgroup. So I'm presenting this to people with very different interests and very different approach to topic of our course, but maybe some of you will join. Then I will ask Mariana, please send me some updated, and also for, of course, for Limor, for Esra, some updated list of people, because when I was scanning the names, I identified one people in the process, except 3 of us who were here, and she's not here now. So that was brief way through that. Thank you very much. And if anyone would like to add anything, I deliberately trying to avoid the grants and things. I have several grants in AI from several people from many countries joining that, doing research in this. If someone would like to do the research about how AI is shaping the career, I will be glad to, if you can write me an email and we can arrange. I have a large team, so people are doing the research from mostly a business background, but also or managerial background, but from also financial point of view, from human resources point of view. That's a strong line of the research we are doing, and so on and so on. So
Thank you,
thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. And I think that's it's important to that's why I was saying that this is going to be recorded, and then we'll share it to see if you get any other contacts. And on the other hand, it would be interesting also to know your plans for the future. Ezra, I don't know if you want to present something.
Yes, I want to present something. Just let me to share. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Then hello everyone and good evening for Eastern European and for Israel and Turkey. It's already dark in here. And I am in Istanbul Gedik University in Turkey, and my background is physical therapy. I think we are few people whose background is from health science. What have we done so far? We held our first meeting on 10 May, and we had 18 participants. And on that meeting, Dimor and Robert and I did the meeting, and sure, Maria helped supported us too. And we decided to form smaller research subgroups and to meet monthly. And then we held our second meeting, and it was about possible Horizon application. And it was under lead of Dimor. Firstly, we we sent email to subgroups people if they are interested in Horizon call, and then we held this meeting with people who were interested. But throughout this meeting, we decided not to apply for the current Horizon call because we had only 1 month until the deadline. So we decided to form a core group and to apply for the this year's call. And we had our third meeting on 30th September, and Tristan and 5 other people attended the meeting, and we decided to disseminate, to share with people if they are interested in leading the Horizon call application for this year. And Dimor mentioned from this email previously, and Ghazal sent the message to everyone if they want to lead in the Horizon call. And if there is anyone who wants to lead and has not showed interest and did not record their name on the Excel sheet, please do it. You have time until 21st November. And what are our future plans? In our subgroup, we have 29 participants. I suppose it's updated, but I wasn't aware of that. Sorry about that. Mariana I'm sure, will send the updated list. And we ask people about output interest, and 21 people said they wanted to take place in paper. 14 people wanted to write chapter or book. 13 people showed interest in proposal projects, and 5 people in conferences. And I wanted to review the people's background. And as you see, we have lots of different background. And as Mariana mentioned, we have people from psychology, education, teacher training, business, management, computer science, sociology, social science. This means we have lots of different backgrounds. So we need to find the research topics that will be common for all of us. And maybe this is I am expecting a lot of output, but I hope we will succeed. Maybe we can create 2 to 3 papers, 1 book, projects on Congress maybe. I'm not sure if we can have budget for the Congress, and if yes, I'll be interested in organizing the Congress and to host the Congress in Istanbul. And our next plan with Robert, we will send a doodle poll to the group to decide the next meeting date, and afterwards we will form a smaller working group that will be interested in this type of outputs. And my paper plan, I can work with people who are interested in any of these ideas. One of them is to automation anxiety and socio-technological adaptability differ among European healthcare professionals. As you know, the technology is every day is entering our lives, especially in healthcare. And for example, I was graduated from Bachelor Science 20 years ago, and 20 years ago, no one taught us about VR, augmented reality, or robotics, but now we are teaching our students. And for physical therapy, I know physical therapists that were graduated 20 years ago. They don't know to use these technologies. We can make a research about this. Or second research question can be, how are working individuals with disabilities affected by rapidly changing technology? Is it an enabler or a barrier? And we will discuss this research question within the group. Thank you.
Thank you, Ezra. Any questions to Ezra? No? And Robert, any questions to Robert and social technological careering? Okay, you have many ideas there, almost as many outputs as the project itself. So as a whole, so we'll see how it goes. And now maybe I would invite Sana Toivonen to present herself. Sana has recently become the subgroup leader of diversity and career. She's from the University of Southeastern Norway. This is also important to say that Sana has recently entered because it's well, in the aftermath of the reorganization of the subgroup. So you can take the floor, Sana.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Everybody can hear me. So yeah, thank you. And I'm just going to try to make it short so we are in the time frame, but I've just, since Mariana mentioned that I'm relatively new, so I thought that I'm just gonna, quickly say something about myself. So I've taken over from Tanya and Louise and the great work initiating this subgroup, and now they've moved to different positions. And so my background is in educational sociology. I did my PhD in educational sciences in 2019. And I've also worked as a practitioner many years. And I'm born and raised in Finland, but now I've moved to Norway, where I am as an associate professor in a Department of Culture, Religion and Social Studies in University of Southeastern Norway. And there I do my research and train future career counselors in master program and career guidance. And the reason why I'm in this group is perhaps my research interests have always been in marginalized groups. So I did my PhD in career interventions for NEET young people, so not in education, employment and training. And also I've done some policy analysis on this target group from a critical discursive analytic perspective. And then now my recent postdoc research, which has ended a few years ago, submissions are now on their way to different journals and outputs are coming. So that focused on migrant women's grassroots solidarity network. So I'm seeing a lot of connections to what people are interested in. So I'm really happy to find these connections through this cost. But because I've taken over from Tanya and Louise, so I'm operating now with that pre-Manchester formation. So I just took a look at the webinar, what was organized before the Manchester, and there was, we had a big sort of diverse group, but now I see that people have sort of like this group has now diffused to other subgroups as well. But anyways, there was 13 interested people. I don't know whether there's anybody here at present, but based on this great sort of like introduction, so I formulated some of the some of the possible themes that this group in its present form might explore further. So what people expressed their interest were these themes. So there was a lot of interest in migration and vulnerability, female migrant care labor and professional inclusion, academic migration and intersectionality, interest on career trajectories of disadvantaged and minority groups, for example, Romani youth, people with disabilities. Career development and guidance practice was of interest, strategies for career practitioners supporting vulnerable groups. And there I integrated my own interest in emancipatory and communitarian career support interventions. So these community-based, grassroots level, non-formal career support, which exists beyond formal institutional career systems. So there we have some connections with what I think Sanja was mentioning about, who was formerly in this group. And then there was interest in education pedagogies and inclusion. So especially focus on higher education on career options for disadvantaged groups, mobility programs, pedagogies for marginalized populations. There was interest in exploring identity and social constructs, influence of ethnicity, group identity, and cultural constructs such as dignity, reputation, and career experiences, intersection of care and career, exploring relational and more than human perspectives and career guidance, and that's also up in my valley at the moment. So I have my other foot in relational ontologies, and I also am a subgroup leader in the working group number 3, focusing on practice, where we explore these new materialist theories and try to sort of like cross-fertilize those with careers thinking in a way and come up with some practical ideas how to do career work in a post-materialistic sort of lens. And in this group, people were also interested about methodological innovation, expanding mixed methods designs to integrating something like diffractive approaches. So how we might now work. So of course, these interests are now based on what was previously expressed. So we need to now, I don't know, maybe communicate something of this to evoke more sort of attention and interest towards this group. We might consider collaboration across different working group 1 subgroups, finding those connections, and then also with working group number 3, which is critical practice. And there, for example, with the diversity and career subgroup, because there was a lot of this how to develop, practical solutions, career guidance practice. So I think we need to make it sort of like a division, like what is the working group 1 contributing to the entire cost? Is it conceptual work? And then how can you sort of move it forward to the practice level? So those sorts of like divisions might be good, and that only is made visible by collaborating with the critical practice working groups. And what we might initiate, so these were just like sort of like my ideas. So some concrete things that we might do is just join symposium papers, workshops to upcoming conferences with people who share some similar interests. We might go to seek funding from Erasmus Plus project proposals if one wants to elaborate these ideas in a more like practice laboratory thinking. And then I was also mentioning that earlier about Horizon Europe Cluster 2, this working draft, which we then will see how it develops, have some prominent themes for this subgroup particularly. And we could explore some joint possibilities to publish a joint collection issue in a journal, continuing exploring joint research interests among the subgroup members. And there was really great ideas on 10-minute short inputs or sharing your a working paper proposal. So I will definitely steal those ideas from you guys, and we can offer something also what is in line with what the critical practice working group is now offering, is like 1 hour webinars or even longer workshops if you want to focus on methodological, if you have something that you want to share and present in exploring or elaborating on a methodological approach. So these sort of possibilities we have. And then I think, you know, with only this group, what was there in pre-Manchester meeting, so there was just a vast diversity of different disciplines. So I think there's very good, you know, starting point to develop some bold, innovative cross-disciplinary research proposal with mixed methods and cross-country comparison design. So there's a lot of potentials. And just shortly, I don't know if I have how much time I have left, but I just, you know, put down some of my own sort of what have I done within the cost. So I delivered a keynote lecture working on relational and more than human perspectives with Anna Bilon. So we had a keynote in ECADOC Summer School about this. Then we also have now good experiences on delivering actually this theme issue, which there was a call for paper in the COCAG network. And now it is actually coming out. And we are continuing, and Mariana mentioned the book, the chapter proposal, which is also sort of a part as part of this cost. And then, as I mentioned, I'm active also in the working group. 3 subgroups, which I think it's an asset. So then you can see sort of like what's overlapping with practice and what could be, you know, part of the working group number 1. And then last but not least, we applied and succeeded to get ECADOC COCAG Summer School in 2028 in Norway. And that's also a collaborative effort across the research milieus here in Norway. So we collaborate with NTNU and UES, and all of these have also, all of these people also are part of the COCAG. So I count that as one of our fruitful collaborations enabled by the cost. And these are some future sort of concrete things that are now happening, and something that we could also think in this subgroup that there's a special issue coming out and another special issue on its way. And then we are already organizing sort of methodological workshop under the working group 3 subgroup, Radical Career Imaginaries, focusing on diffractive methodology, drawing on Karen Barad, Donna Haraway, in researching social justice and career guidance. And then, as said, the summer school is happening. I think that was my last slide. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Sanna. Any questions to Sanna? Yalimor? You're muted.
Can you publish the call for paper for the special issue? You say there is a special issue.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the call for papers was already earlier this year, so it was in cost, but it was in January, February, so that's already over. But certainly, you know, we can start thinking. I've got pretty good, you know, some big experience in now proposing some special issues. So, but currently there are no open calls. So these are the contributions are now in place for those. But,
and the call for paper was also for work group 1 groups members.
It was to the entire cost, so it was published in the website, in the COCAG website. So it wasn't submitted through the subgroups specifically.
So,
but certainly,
I think we have to send it like Uli sent the Horizon, because then not all the members know it, because they are not reaching this site always.
Yeah, so it's a good thing to mention that
how papers just with message or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And another question: the journal as impact factor.
Yeah, I think both of them are at least Scopus recognized, so you can just go and look for it. But both I think the journal of Nordic Journal of Migration Studies it's been for a longer time than the Nordic Journal of Careers, Transitions and Guidance. So I'm not sure what is the level of impact, but I think they have not published anything. I'm also sitting as a country editor in the Nordic Journal of Transitions, Careers and Guidance, so I can certainly look it up. That do we have that impact factor mentioned in the paper?
Thank you.
In the journal website.
Any other questions? Let me just say that I don't remember why, but I mentioned your keynote at ECODOC and shared the link to your article previously during the meeting. So if you want to check out Sana's and Anna Bilon's article, it's somewhere in our conversation. And any other questions to Sana? No? Okay, so then this is my last. So I've impersonated a lot of people today. So now I'm going to impersonate Judith Vega, who is the leader of the subgroup titled Career Imaginaries. She's from the Doctoral School of Psychology in Hungary, and I can't pronounce the name of the university. I'm so sorry. But she was, it was impossible for her. We even talked about the possibility of her recording a presentation, but she sent me something. So Judith Weg, her doctoral research focused on expatriation and how the future of global work may change after the pandemic. Her academic background is in psychology. She is currently involved in another cross-section where she serves as both a working group co-leader and a subgroup leader. Within that subgroup, they successfully published the literature review demonstrating productive collaboration and clear outcomes. In this subgroup, Career Imaginaries, she would like to contribute with a similar approach, working together towards a shared publication such as a literature review or any other goal the group decides upon. She also plans to organize regular meetings to facilitate collaboration and progress. And the next steps for this subgroup will be planning an online meeting in November. And so she aims to send people who are registered a doodle poll to select the most suitable date and time. Call for collaboration. I would also welcome a subgroup leader. Yes, of course. I'm going also to, let me just say, for the ones who are alone, I think it's important to have some support because these roles are difficult. So I can also try to check if other people who have an interest in Career Imaginaries have made themselves available to be subgroup leaders. But nonetheless, Judith shared her email. If people are interested both in collaborating and in co-leading this subgroup, she couldn't participate because she has a flight at the same time, but she's looking forward to working with you all soon. Okay, Sanya.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say something about the future meetings of all subgroups, because I mean, we only proposed this 3rd November. It's not like
maybe it's too soon.
date, and
I was going to say that.
Too soon. Okay, then we will come up with another suggestion, and then I think it's good to coordinate proposals, maybe on email thread or something somewhere else. I don't think. Sorry. I mean, we spoke about this manager for organization, but nothing happened about. So emails are only way so far we use.
I think we can try to do, I think it's important. I just said maybe it's a little bit too soon because people, it would entail sending an email let's say today, and then people participating in a week, and it may be difficult. That's what I was saying. What I think we should do now is I'm going to send everyone the registrations we've received so far. Okay, then you do whatever you want. If you want to share if you want to share a doodle, of course, but I would say the doodle will probably be replied by the people who are already registered in your subgroup, and it may be difficult, but whatever. But then we should open to everyone in this working group. So whenever you schedule a meeting, or if you have regular meetings always at the same time, at the same more or less date, please let me know so that I can share it with everyone. I would also like to remind subgroup leaders that I had shared with you a folder. In that folder, I had put the recordings of the previous meetings, and some context. And the aim was to then put the context there and update it. But in the meantime, it became clear that it was being complicated. Some people could use it, some couldn't. So what I would say would be, okay, if you want to go and get something from there, let me know so that we are sure that you can go there and at least download whatever interests you. And then you can try to create your own shared folders for your subgroups. That may be easier because that way you can manage those shared folders yourselves, which is easier than me managing it for everyone. It's too difficult, too many people. So that's my proposal.
Okay, I agree. I only wanted to ask if you can share again access to this folder,
Yes.
because I mean, for me, I struggled last night to find. Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to do it all over again with everyone here. I'm going to share the people who have registered so far. And maybe whenever I think I'm going to then write an email disseminating whenever these recordings are put online. And when they are online, I'm going to share also the link for people to register within subgroups. And then you can, or if you want, I can just share your emails. Is that okay? I don't know. What do you want?
Well, sharing the folders will be easier.
Sorry?
Because sharing the folder, for example, Excel sheet, and disseminate with people, it will be easier. Because if we get emails, we can miss any email.
Okay. Do you all agree? Sana?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's simpler to manage the group through. I cannot, have an overview when the emails come, and then they'll be like
too complicated.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Great. Robert.
Yeah, I just agree, because emails are available on our web pages, of course.
True.
So
okay.
It's normal on our university that you have the email attached to your profile.
Great. Okay. So in that case, yeah, sure.
I'm just thinking that I would be really happy to have have a possibility to also participate whenever there comes, a webinar or a short 10-minute, introduction. So I'm just like thinking that could it be centralized, that whenever there comes an event, so we could eventually have some sort of like I don't know, online calendar or something that people could be updated about what's happening and join wherever there is an interesting thing happening.
Okay.
So and I don't know whether it's the email list or what is the function of the website.
Yes, that's a good
I
point,
experience
Sana.
that people don't access the info through the website.
True. I agree. I think we should share everything that happens with all subgroup leaders and the liaison, Limor, Ricky, and I. On the other hand, it would be great, one role that we still have to assign to someone is someone to support working group 1 in dissemination, because I've been doing everything in terms of dissemination, at least centralized dissemination. So if someone is available to support with these kinds of issues, disseminating events, centralizing information, that would be amazing.
I think if
Well,
it
there
would
is
be,
like, sorry.
yeah, just say, Sonia. Go ahead.
I wanted to say we discussed the platform and we also discussed Google Group, because there is option to actually have everything in one place and then not to send notifications directly when something, and we can check it regularly and we can have subtopics, and maybe that is the solution.
I have no idea.
I think there is a problem with security of information, something like that with Google in Europe, as I understood.
Yes, that's true.
So
That's
we
true.
can do it with Microsoft. With as I understand it, with Microsoft, they also have this. But I think that in Europe, it's more accepted. If I remember what Uli said about that.
Yes, it's true
Yes.
that we have
Yeah,
a problem with
just,
Google. Yeah, true. We're not supposed to use Google Docs and such within research, in research within Europe. That's true. Ezra.
Yeah. Marianne, I want to ask about upcoming in-person conference. Do we have?
Oh yeah. So the conference will be in Porto, in Portugal, during May 2026. We still don't have the final date, and so that's why it still hasn't been disseminated more broadly. Okay, whenever we can, we will. Probably during the next core group meeting, it will be, the dates may be decided, the final dates.
Okay, thank you.
Stana, can you write your mail, please? You're in the
Okay, so is anyone available to become the disseminating leader? No, no one here. Okay,
I
so
can
Unfortunately,
consider,
I
I
really
can
can't.
consider that. I can consider that very sort of carefully, because I think if I'm not responsible on like content production, but if there will be an event, so then I could put it somewhere. If people would send me email and then also the description of this event is about blah blah blah, so then I could act. But if it entails sort of like content production, that I might be hesitant about.
Of course, I understand.
Mariana, I think you can ask Haman.
Aman, yes, I've been asking Aman, but it was we were supposed. Yes,
he's delivering the things.
Yes, it's true. But we were also supposed, each working group was supposed to identify someone to then articulate with Aman. Well, Aman has been putting everything online in the website, but there's also the email. So I think it's true that whenever we put something in the website, we should also send it by email. People, unfortunately, do not go to the website often enough. So I think that's the issue here. I've been doing these emails, but if we are going to have a more events, because each subgroup leader is organizing events within those subgroups, then that means that there is a lot more communication being undertaken. So we can explore. Okay, so for now, we can talk about between Sana and me, and we can try to do that. And also I can ask for help from Limor and Ricky sometimes. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay. Any other questions for now? We are already a little bit late.
I would like, I mean, I'm sorry if I missed something, but I would like in the future to clarify this, how we communicate, because I don't want to spam people. And for me, it's not clear what to do actually with this agreement on the next meeting.
Okay.
I'm very sorry for pointing out this fact, but it seems like that.
Of course. So subgroup leaders are responsible for organizing their meetings, contacting people who they have the contacts of, and informing Limor, Ricky, and me. Then we know who we are supposed to liaison with, okay? But just CC us, Okay.
Okay.
Then
Understood.
we will disseminate those broadly towards among all working group members. I think, is this clear now?
Very clear.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay, Dushka.
I would also like to ask for clarification. I'm not sure which subgroup I'm in,
Okay.
or if I have to decide, then I wonder whether I can attend the first meeting of 2 subgroups and only then decide. Is it possible?
Okay. And do
I have to apply in some way, or I will be informed?
Dushka, you are definitely in our subgroup. I see it like that. Every help is worthy.
Okay.
Sorry, somebody, something happened, so I just heard a voice. Somebody told me that I'm in which subgroup?
Robert said
I was just kidding. I mentioned that you are definitely in our subgroup because we need some active members. So that was just a joke. But it's.
Now I get it. Yeah.
Okay, so are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I decided just to sum up this. So we have careers in crisis, lifelong and life-wide learning and careers, socio-technological careering, diversity and career imaginaries. What I can do, so basically what happened was before we had other subgroups, so people were registered to those first subgroups, then these changed and I analyzed them and reassigned people. So if you don't know in which one you are, please send me an email and I'll check. So these are the subgroups we have now. And the idea is then to have this articulation between working groups so that we are not working on our own. So I just thought maybe this would make sense, but send me an email, Dushka. I can check if you registered already. But of course, the idea is this is something flexible and dynamic. I can try and participate, and I would advise you to go to COCAG because in the website I presented, and you can see a summary of each subgroup, what they are about, but the position paper that will be presented very, very, very soon, I hope, I expect, also has a summary of each subgroup, okay? But you can check out, and maybe I can show you, okay? I was going to see the Nordic, as you see, I was, well, I don't know if this is a good idea because my computer is kind of slow, but you have in events, you have, for example, you have the launch event. Okay, for example, you have the presentations for each topic, you have the keynotes and working group presentations, and then in working group 1, action details, working group, here you have everything that has happened here. And I think you have draft themes for COCAG. So these were the draft themes. And this is the first webinar. But, okay, I had sent something else, but apparently it isn't here yet, which is the new topics for working group 1, but whatever. You can check it out in the key, the keynote that at least here, okay, keynotes and working group presentations, and you have here not this one. These are the previous subgroups that I presented, but then you have Tristram Hooley's keynote, and it includes his proposal of these new subgroups and what they are about, okay? So you can check it out. Here they are, okay? And I can also share in the meantime, I think you didn't see it, or am I still sharing? Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Don't worry. I'll share something about that also in the meantime. I think we are also all getting tired by now. Any other questions? No? So send me an email, Dushka. I'll let you know where you are. But you can
Okay,
you can try out whatever you want in the meantime. So, any other questions?
So, Mariana, so you will send the updated lists of the people who are registered? Yeah, because
I will.
I'm sort of like out of it at the moment. Great.
Of course. Thank you so much to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you
Bye
soon.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.